What's up guys, welcome to Munchkins Gaming, where we take your gaming to the next level. This is Munchkins logging in to bring you another Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia video, and welcome back to another versus video where I take on the hardest contents in the global version of the game. And in today's video we are going to take a look at the boss rush, I guess the second boss rush in the global version of the game that we just recently got. So as far as you guys can see, this is basically the final wave already. I didn't really want to make an entire video, like maybe 30-minute video almost, just showing you the entire fight. I will show you guys my party compositions for this particular boss rush at the end of the video, so you guys will see it. I will obviously show it there and you guys can see who I used. Now before we do start, like and subscribe. It does help the channel and I would really appreciate it. So without further ado, let's start this video, which hopefully will help you guys, well, yeah, I'll give you some tips and hopefully help you guys figure out how to beat this fight. So let's start this off with wave 1, which basically you need the thunder element. So there are a couple of characters that are pretty useful in this one, and that one being Kryle, which we recently had. She can do a AoE thunder damage, and you can also use lightning as well if you do have her burst. That is going to help very much. And Raijin is also a decent option. He can paralyze and is a very good AoE thunder damage as well. And honestly, we do have quite a ton of characters for this, and hopefully you can, use these characters to your advantage. I would highly suggest though, if you are bringing any launch characters, this is probably the only wave that is viable. For some reason, I don't know why, I did look this up, but wave 2 and wave 3 definitely did not launch with my Dark Knight Cecil or with Ramza. I'm not exactly sure why. There's nothing in the in the details about the enemies that they are immune to knockback. I'm not entirely sure. So if you are planning to bring a chase team or a launch team, I would highly suggest using it on the first wave, because for some reason that is the only one. I'm not exactly sure if it works on the final wave, since I never got to that point and tried to do it there, but for whatever reason, yeah, launch team doesn't work on the second and third wave. So yeah, that's all I can really say about wave 1. It's not entirely hard. It is just those sand krakens. Just be careful that, because they keep on delaying you and they can hit you with a tentacle explosion here and there. Wave 2 is pretty straightforward, honestly. Just don't get broken. Wave 2 doesn't have any orbs as well, which is really nice. So you can kind of take your time in here. I would highly suggest though your first wave be able to at least take this down to like 50% or something along those lines. And yeah, I think that is the most ideal situation, and once you get there you should be fine to use your second party. Now as for the third wave, this is where it becomes a little bit tricky, and that is because you have to let the boss actually take a turn. So in this particular case, you need something along the lines where that the boss will take brave damage off debuff effects. This is a good place to actually start using Vincent as one of the global first LD. This is where he will shine a little bit more, and of course if you don't have him, Ultimisia can work pretty well as well. Having a tank here is probably a good choice, only because you will be taking some the boss will be taking some turns, and you do have to sort of like, take it as you go. As far as anything goes, that's all you really need. Any poison or sap effects helps as well. Like I said, Ultimisia was my personal choice for this one. But yeah, you can definitely bring Vincent along. You do have to be a little bit careful. They are double resistance to melee attacks, which means that you need to, if you're planning to use like Guy as your tank like I did, Enchant definitely helps, and Imperil definitely helps there. But otherwise, I didn't really have much issues with this, although it did get to the point that it summoned, you know, the ads, these little small flies, and I would just ignore them and go straight for the main swarm fly. Otherwise, I didn't really have any much issues there. Now, as for the final wave, I mean, we are going to take down the heavy gunner. This is one of those bosses again that you have to let the boss have a turn. The way that the Lufenia orb works here is basically when you take a lower brave damage thanks to buffs. So if you did pull for Hope, then great. Hope is going to do pretty much the workload for the Lufenia orb counters. You will notice that my Hope actually doesn't have his LD, and I actually didn't give him any of the character boards as well, as far as I remember. So yeah, you don't necessarily need his LD, you just need him to reduce basically the damage. Other characters that can do these are obviously like Gladio can do this as well, and I do believe Guy has some sort of the defense up. I don't know if that actually works. You can correct me down in the comments below. I did want to try and get Guy up to this point, but since he was part of my second party, but I didn't get to kill the third wave just before you know, my turn expired basically. So I couldn't try it there. However, these bosses are double resistance to the earth element, as well as melee and range attacks. So I was just hedging my bets there. Since it was my second party, I was like, well, you know, if I get there, I get there, and if they are double resistance, I don't really mind. But yeah, it's just something to really think about, because you will need to bring quite a bit of magic DPS on this particular wave. Not that, you know, melee and range DPS won't be able to cut it, but you will need to bring something like an enchanter. So for example, if you are planning to bring Gladio, then I do highly suggest that you bring some sort of enchanter or impaler at the same time, so he can do at least a decent amount of damage with his counters. So, but if you already have Hope, then you know you should be completely fine for this one. Another character that is that can increase the counter is actually Beatrix, believe it or not, with her Holy Knight Guard. So yeah, I do believe, no, I was gonna say Cypher, but Cypher's one is a debuff. So yeah, Holy Knight Ground, it only lasts for one turn, but you know, it can increase the Lufenia orbs as well. The one thing that I would really warn you guys about this final wave is because if they break you with a certain attack, they will delete or remove every single one of your buffs. So it can go through, you know, Shell and Protect and Holy Guard Knight, whatever, Holy Knight's Guard as well, making so Beatrix actually dies. So just have to be careful about that. But yeah, if you do have burst effects, they definitely help in these fights, because they give you 5 extra turns, you know, doing damage. I do believe the only burst I had here was, I was gonna say lightning, but I just had a quick check on my party used, and I actually didn't have any bursts, believe it or not. But yeah, if you have bursts, definitely use them, because they are going to make things a lot easier. Those extra 5 turns on, if you have like 3 parties of extra 5 turns, that is amazing. Anyway, I think that's all I really have to say about this boss rush. There's nothing else to add apart from those things. If I did miss something, please let me know down in the comments below. Or if you have any other party compositions that you wish to share to the community, please do so in the comments below as well. I would be really surprised. I've been surprised actually by a lot of other people's using other characters that I would never even think of. And I like to see those kind of things, and I would really appreciate it if you share your party members or party groups in the comment section below, as well as follow me on Twitter and on Facebook at Munchkins Gaming, and leave a like and subscribe once again if you have enjoyed this video. It would really appreciate it. It would help this channel quite a lot. Also guys, before I do go, I just let you guys know I am going to have a short night shift course, so do expect videos to be late as always. But yeah, hopefully I can make a decision of what I want to do a little bit closer, but I do have a long night shift course after the next 2 weeks again, so yeah, it's kind of hard for me to say at this point, but that is it. I'll see you guys in the next level.